Welcome back to We Need to Talk, a midweek special. Now, this midweek special is brought to you by our friends over at Manscaped. You know the score by now. They support We Need to Talk and they support Football Daily. And you can too by going over to manscaped.com, using the code FootballDaily20, and you'll get 20% off every single one of their products and global shipping. Don't know what I'm doing with my arms, but please go and support the channel. That's Football Daily 20 on manscaped.com. Anyway, this is the show that looks at football on the internet over the past few days. A few days that's seen Leeds fans biting back. Go on, Leeds! James Milner stepping up to the table. I always loved you, Jimmy.
I don't know. I think it's the same as everyone. There's a lot of questions. I can only say my personal opinion. I don't like it, and hopefully it doesn't happen.
And Patrick Bamford saying it as it is.
It's amazing, just like the things that they're talking about. I can't quite comprehend. I mean, it's amazing the amount of uproar as well that comes into the game when somebody's pockets are being hurt. So it's a shame it's not like that with all the things that go wrong at the minute, with racism and stuff like that, but it's just how it is at the minute.
Anyway, today we need to talk about the European Super League. Today we're of course talking about the most hated concept in football history, the European Scum League that's been born out of pure greed and cowardice. Nobody wants this thing. And I'm probably going to lose my head at least 20 times throughout this video with the idea of the ESL. Now, if you're watching this video, it's important we keep up the fight against the ESL. So bang in the comments right now, no to the Super League. I'll like every no to the Super League comment that's in the comments right now. And hit the like button while you're down there so we can boost this up the YouTube algorithm. Anyway, last night, Monday Night Football, everybody knows it's my favourite football show. Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher let loose with their opinions on this European Scum League. So today, I'm going to be reacting to their reactions because it was genuinely some of the best football TV I've ever seen, and also giving my opinion on some of the talking points that they're involved in. Let's go.
Good evening and welcome to a Monday Night Football like no other. Jamie, let's start with you. What's your overall feeling on this European Super League?
No different to Gary and every supporter up and down the country today.
Go on, Jamie.
But what I would say is, this is not Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal, involved Man City. This is John Emery and FSG. This is the Glazers. This is Roman Abramovich, Shiekh Mansour, Stan Kroenke, Daniel Levy. These are the people to blame for this. And
they absolutely are. The little mafia of owners that's formed around these clubs that don't represent the clubs, that don't represent the players, they don't represent the management, they don't represent the staff, they don't represent the fans. It's not the clubs, it's the owners. Greed, cowardice at the core of their person.
And the biggest thing for me certainly is the football world in terms of everyone being against it tonight.
That's a key thing, isn't it? Everyone is against this. I don't know anyone that's in favour of the Super League that's not just some stupid troll online or a bot account. Genuine people care about this. It's an absolute fiasco.
If Liverpool Football Club lose their manager on the back of this in the next 12 months or so, those owners will be run out of that club in a week.
Come on, James.
And the owners of Liverpool, because it hurts me more because it's Liverpool, and that's why I'm touching on them. This ownership bought Liverpool Football Club on the back of other American owners running the club badly.
Very badly. Like, into the ground.
My message to everyone is I think these clubs think this is a done deal. It's done.
This is not a done deal. It's a long way from being a done deal. I was watching Perez last night speak to some trash Spanish TV station. He looked worried, panicking. And some of the quotes that were coming out of his mouth in that interview last night were shameful. Shameful.
We have tribalism in this country, we have rivalry, and that's what makes it the game it is, and that's what we love. Football fans get together, all of us in TV, pundits, players, managers, get together and stop this because it can be stopped.
Absolute goosebumps here from Jamie Carragher. Everybody's got to back it. Sky pundits, BT pundits, BBC pundits, TalkSport, YouTubers, football fans. Everybody has got to back this to the hill. The European Scum League cannot take place.
But if they get this through, if they push this through, and these owners have pushed difficult things through in the past for these clubs, Levy's steel-like. The Glazers are steel-like. Abramovich, hard as nails in terms of, he won't care about criticism. It will change football in this country forever. Forever. And we have to now mobilise, organise. It's difficult not to get emotional and feel sick.
It is, 100%. I think Gary almost looks close to tears here, and I back him 100%. When I heard the news of the European Super League, my heart dropped. I felt sick. I don't know whether you guys at home, but the last couple of games I've watched since this news has broken, I don't care about. And that's what will happen with this European Super League. It really will. It's emotionless. Who cares about winning the JP Morgan Cup? There's no history behind it. And they can say they're going to carry over 13 Champions Leagues into this. It's a sham. It's embarrassing. Where's the emotion behind this new trophy?
And I've always thought, what's the answer to the Glazers? Who takes them out? Russia? China? State money? For the 2 or 3 billion quid it would need. And I've stayed quiet on the basis that it's still Manchester United. I can still go and watch the lads play. I can be happy and I can be sad. I'm still watching football in this country. If they take dividends out, all right, it's dividends. I can live with it slightly. But what I can't live with is attacking every single football fan in this country.
Go on, Gary.
They have stepped over the mark. They are scavengers.
What a word. 100%. Scavengers here to pick English football, Spanish football, Italian football, French, wherever you're from, apart at the bones. There'll be nothing left when these guys finish. This is nothing more than a gateway for them, the European Super League. If you think the European Super League is the end goal, you're clueless. The European Super League is nothing more than a starting point. 2030, they won't be having 2 teams from Manchester, 5 teams from London in it. 100% not. It will be Istanbul Arsenal. It'll be Dubai Chelsea.
And they need booting out of this football club and they need booting out of this country.
Go on, Gary.
We have got to come together now. It might be too late. There'll be people at Manchester United, fans who were arguing 15 years ago who will say it's too late. It's never too late. We have got to stop this.
Brilliant by Gary Neville, this, isn't it? Right. He's admitted his own flaws. I've also probably not been vocal enough on the Glazer issue. And do you know what? I respect him 100% for coming out and saying this in order to help the wider game.
Why is it different this time, Gary? Why could it destroy football as we know it?
They've created a monopoly, a closed shop, a tournament where you're guaranteed to be in it.
And who wants that? Who actually wants to see Man United versus Barcelona every week? How boring. I think they have this weird twisted vision that just because 2 teams play each other, it means something. Have you ever watched the Audi Cup? Or the ICC, whatever it is, pre-season trophy? Or the Emirates Cup? Nobody cares that Man United are playing Real Madrid in it. There's no history. There's no competitiveness. There's no passion. There's no spirit. Just because they're 2 big teams playing against each other means nothing without having a wider context. Without having the competitiveness that's allowed Leicester to win a Premier League, that could allow West Ham to be in the Champions League next season, that saw Southampton travelling away to Inter Milan.
They take away everything in this country, the pyramid, the sincerity of competition, the honesty and integrity of competition that we value.
And do you know how important that is? It's vital. The story behind Sheffield United going back-to-back promotions under Chris Wilder, pushing for a top 10 finish, will never be seen again. It will never be seen again if this is allowed to happen.
There'll always be top clubs who have more money, but they can be beaten by Sheffield United at home. They can draw with Fulham. And they're trying to take that away to create franchise football. Never. It can never happen.
Never. 100% Gary. Like, this is the best of Gary Neville right here. Articulate, passionate, and to be honest with you, I don't know a football fan that doesn't agree with him.
I don't think these 6 owners, I hope they're panting hard tonight.
So do
and
I.
Feeling uncomfortable and their stomachs are churning.
And I'm telling you, watching Perez last night on that TV show, he was nervous. I've already seen the tweets this morning that 2 English clubs, probably Chelsea and Manchester City, are on the verge of pulling out. Shouts to Bayern Munich for having a backbone, a spine. Shouts to Borussia Dortmund for saying no to this. The Germans leading the way here. Brilliant.
My intentions last night were around the fact that the 2 most successful football clubs in this country should have high standards of integrity. And for all the rivalry, there is a respect that you do the right things, a respect that you defend your club, of course, but that actually both recognise that they're great football clubs that have done great things. And the shock that these 2 are at the front of this. They're at the front of this. Forget the 6. I forget the 6. Chelsea and City, Shiekh Mansour and Roman Abramovich, we don't even know who they are. Arsenal and Tottenham, I mean, I'd rather watch the champions of San Marino than them 2 at the moment, to be honest with you. How them 2 have wangled the way in. They're a joke to watch. And then we've got these 2. They should be bringing people together. They should be demonstrating compassion. We're in the midst of a pandemic. They should have the highest standards at all time.
That's one of the most sickening things, isn't it? The timing of this whole announcement. Let's be under no illusion that they've announced this when fans aren't in the stadiums for a reason. The backlash will be monumental. People will be storming the pitch if this was happening and fans were allowed in the stadium. Combine that against the backdrop of the COVID pandemic, where football clubs are literally going out of business. People are losing jobs and livelihoods because of this. And you can see the pure cowardice of the families behind this nonsense. The timing is it's disgusting. It's despicable.
They want to change the very fabric of the pyramid of relegation and promotion, so they have certainty, so they can count on their income year in, year out. They don't like the idea. Manchester United, you know, they lose loads of money off their sponsors when they don't qualify for the Champions League, and they've been really good at not qualifying for the Champions League in the last 10 years. Really, really good.
It's so true, 100%, what Gary Neville was saying here. By the way, Manchester United consistently failed to make it into the Champions League. Arsenal, Tottenham consistently failed to make it into the Champions League. The Big Six, as a concept, is only really happened over the last few years. Manchester City, one of the most dominant teams of the last decade, were relegated twice in the 80s, were relegated in the 90s. What's to say that couldn't happen? Football's cyclical. Man City could get relegated again in 10 years' time. Nottingham Forest might come back onto the scene. Multiple times European champions, Nottingham Forest, by the way. Aston Villa, European champions. So this Big Six concept, by closing them in for the next 20 years to protect their own capital investment, is an absolute fiasco. It stops all of that competitive element happening.
But they were banking on it all the time under Sir Alex Ferguson, because he was pulling them out of the mire every single year, whilst obviously there weren't massive amounts of money being invested, and getting into the Champions League every season. And they just thought it was their right. They're entitled. They think they're entitled to be in there, and they're not.
And that's the key word, isn't it? Entitlement. I've never seen more entitlement from a group in football like this. Watching Florentino Perez, I don't want to keep harping back to that interview last night. The entitlement of the man. The entitlement of Ed Woodward and the Glazers. The entitlement of Agnelli and Juventus. of Roman Abramovich and Chelsea, of Shiekh Mansour at Manchester City, is just frightening. You're not entitled to close yourselves off to competition. I've seen Man United get beaten all over the pitch by Sheffield United earlier this season. I've seen Arsenal getting beaten by Burnley this season. Aston Villa beat Liverpool 7-2. You're not entitled to anything.
They want to own their own commercial income, their own image rights, their own TV rights. They want to break away from what would be the system that is happening in this country. Simple as that.
People will become very, very bored of Liverpool, Real Madrid. It was exciting because we hadn't played them maybe since 2009 in a knockout game.
Joy of it, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's exactly the key, isn't it? Waiting a long time for anything in this world, when you finally get it, it means more. The excitement, the build-up. When it's who cares? I take it for granted. I don't want it. When I have to wait a decade to see Manchester United in a European Cup final, that European Cup final will mean more to me than anything.
But I love watching Liverpool and I love them scoring a goal, and football can take you to a place that nothing else can. This will never take you to this place ever again if this is allowed to happen.
That sums it up there, Jamie. Nail on the head stuff. Goosebumps again from Jamie Carragher there. If this is allowed to happen, it's the emotional death of football. It really is. Never again will you see the emotions of Watford scoring a last-minute playoff goal against Leicester. Troy Deeney, Deeney! Gone. Because what good is promotion from the Championship? Watford are never going to play in the European Super League. It's a disgrace.
These owners at Manchester United, Dave, they've allowed that stadium to rot. It's second rate. They don't paint the steel. It's rusty on the outside of the stadium.
Worst stadium of any big club I've ever been to, Old Trafford, in terms of the way it's maintained. It's falling down. It's crumbling. The car parks are a mess. The seats are a mess. The concourse is a disgrace. Everything about that stadium. In fact, there's a video I'm going to put on screen now of a leak in the roof. And when I say a leak, it's like Niagara Falls. So don't believe all this guff about the money's going to get pumped back into the game, the money's going to get pumped back into the stadiums and facilities. It's not. They're lying to you.
Around the actual ground that's land bank that they don't invest in and create a Manchester United world. I said before, they're scavengers and they just want the big money for themselves. That is it.
That is it. 100% nail on the head from Gary Neville. All right. So there we have it. My thoughts. Jamie and Gary's thoughts. For anybody who maybe missed Monday Night Football, wanted to see a little bit of reaction to it. There is more M&F reaction as well to the post-game after Leeds versus Liverpool drew last night over on Football Daily's Twitter. So if you want to see more M&F stuff from after the game, go and look at Football Daily's Twitter. There's loads of good stuff on there. Keep following us throughout this week because we are constantly going to be chatting about the European Super League. Hit in the comments right now, stop the Super League. It can't be allowed to happen. Hit the like button. And as I said at the start, make sure you go over to manscaped.com. 20% off all products and free shipping globally with the code FootballDaily20. Shout out, thanks to Manscaped very, very, very much. Thanks everybody for watching. Stop the Super League.